Now, we're going to go to one that I have experience with, guys.
Okay, here we go. I'm excited because I've had no experience. None of us have had any experience with any of these
I
so
can't
far.
speak to this stuff. Yeah.
This is a Bryan experience, and this is titled Repetitive Pictures in My Mind. Inhalants, parentheses, gasoline. So
Okay.
when I was growing up, we huffed a lot of gas, like a lot. Like when I was a teenager.
You did.
Oh my God, you have no fucking idea how much gas I huff. We used to go to this graveyard out in the middle of nowhere and with like 5 gas cans and put the gas cans on one of the taller tombstones and huff and huff and huff. And then take off running into this cornfield and try to tackle each other. And
Now, did your doctor tell you to do that, or where did you get the advice on? Where did you find out that was a fucking thing you could do? Like, I'm always curious about that. I want to think like. I guess I probably did stupid things, like I huffed things. Definitely never gasoline, but like when I was younger, I would like maybe paint or something like that. I tried like things around the house. You know what I mean? Like stupidly, like once. Never like it was never something I did regularly, and we never did gasoline. Like, do you remember how you like discovered it?
Well, this is like when we're like 12, after we've smoked weed for the first time, we've done LSD for the first time, but when you're a 12-year-old, it's hard to get drugs.
Yeah.
So we would go underneath the deck we had in the backyard, and we would put a little gas in a cup. We would keep the gas can out there too, so you could huff out of the gas can. People would huff out of the lawnmower, and like we would just kind of all
be huffing out of the lawnmower.
Yeah.
And how many people are involved in this? Jesse is like Jesse's a father as
Bro,
Bryan.
I can't be thinking about kids out there fucking breathing into a lawnmower.
I see the look on Jesse's face right now as a father, and I'm like seeing it like he's really, really, really upset by this. But like, how many people are out here doing this?
5 or 6 at a time, you know,
5 or 6, and they're like you guys, like, so one of you guys just has the idea to do that, and you all just do it.
Yeah, me and all. It was just like what the neighborhood kids did.
I guess so. I guess it's the same as like the way we smoked weed or drank or whatever. Yeah.
Or play basketball or kickball or any of that stuff. Like this was all just what we did during the day.
Bryan, is there which of these do you say, if any, which of these youthful experiences or dalliances with drugs would you say you regret, if any?
I probably shouldn't have huffed that much gas.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. Yeah, I was wondering if maybe there was like a little bit of like saying it out loud, like saying I used to huff a bunch of gas out of a lawnmower. If there was a part of you that was like, oh, maybe that was. If I had the ball back in my hands, I'd fling it a different way this time.
There's one I regret, only one. Like I've done quite a few drugs in my life as well, but there is one thing I regret, I will say, and that is taking DXM.
I've heard about this one being a particularly tough road to hoe,
which is dexamorphine. I don't know how to it's what's in cough syrup, basically. But the reason that I regret it so much, I've mentioned this publicly before, is because I can't take cough medicine that has DXM in it. It makes me feel fucking weird. And it is the only real good cough suppressant that we have come up with as a society. And so not being able to take it when you have a really bad cough is just a real.
Well, Bryan's got the same thing. Poor son of a bitch can't mow his own yard now.
Yeah. It is weird when you're standing when I remember, talking to people who would say like, "Oh, I'm a little weird. I love the smell of gasoline." And I was like,
I do.
An idea how much I love the smell of gas.
Yeah, maybe different.
You love it.
You're on a different level.
Yeah, that reminds me of there's a comedian named Kevin Fox who had a really funny joke. He said like, "Oh, I used to think I was into a foot fetish. Like I have a foot fetish, but I went online. It turns out I have a foot interest." Anyway,
yeah.
So this one has an Arrowwood note. By the way, Arrowwood had to note this one. Our understanding of the literature is that there's no such thing as safe recreational use of volatile solvents, aerosols, and other street inhalants. Their psychoactive effects are inseparable from nerve and organ damage, We have chosen to include these reports to help document the real-world use of inhalants, but their inclusion is not intended to imply that they're anything but dangerous. So Arrowhead's even like, fucking these guys are not cool.
This is not good. This is bad for you.
I was wondering earlier if there was anything like that on here, because there does seem to be quite a few things that are just straight up like, hey, just don't even mess with this one. Like, don't. But
well, that's the first line of this is huffing gas. It never harmed me in any way that I can notice, but it varies with everyone.
I've tuned all my perception to seeing if there's anything wrong with puffing a bunch of. So far, so good.
So far, so good. Yeah.
If you haven't tried this, don't be a dumbass and try it. Just go to a local druggie and buy some fucking weed.
Okay, yeah.
This is a good. Anyways, on to the story. I was visiting my friend who was visiting from Indiana. My cousin and I were talking to him about some previous experiences. He told us he didn't have any Mary Jane, comma, he smoked it all, but he had something else. He went out to the building and came back in with a jug of gasoline. I'd heard of puffing gas before, but never thought about doing it. He began to huff and passed the jug to me and my cousin. We all took a few hits and I started to feel a warm sensation. My body was becoming numb and felt warm and fuzzy. It was a good feeling. We continued to huff for about 10 minutes, almost nonstop. I realized at this point I was very high. Everything was distorted and echoing. Echoes are very common among gas huffers. Let me tell you something from a gas huffer's perspective. We used to say it's like, it goes like this. Wah, 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 wah. That's what it sounds like in your brain.
Don't need to be hearing that. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, and what I picture when I think of huffing is headache. I just think of it giving you like a real headache and like a real like dizziness and like a bad feeling like that.
Even if you weren't huffing gas, like if you were just huffing and puffing just like oxygen, wouldn't you eventually you're still gonna be like, ugh, I didn't like that, you know?
Yeah, just oxygen.
So he goes, all of a sudden, I took a final hit, and all of a sudden, reality was altered. We were sitting outside the house at this point. My vision of the world shattered like a piece of broke glass. I turned my head towards my cousin, and I still had the same image in my mind. No matter where I looked, I seen the same picture in my mind. At first, I thought I was dying and started yelling to my friend. He assured me that it was normal and not to panic. I'm not sure how long it lasted, but I came back into my mind while lying in the grass face down. My friend and cousin were lying around in different places. I went inside and went to bed and realized I was rapping. This is something I never do. I don't even like rap.
This sounds like a pretty chill experience, to be honest. It's just like, yo, I feel like I'm fucking dying, and then it's like, no, this is normal. This is part of it. And then he's just like laughing.
And he goes, my friends later told me it was very impressive. By the way, his rapping was. His friend said he was good.
So it was good. That was what I was gonna ask. So it was like he had bars, you're saying. Like it wasn't. That's very impressive.
They're calling him Kid Gas, and he's burning up the freestyle charts.
Oh, the freestyle charts. Oh God. The freestyle.
You don't remember it. No, you don't remember. You don't remember.
Freestyle charts.
You weren't there. You weren't there.
He goes, I did it in the future and passed out in my driveway where my mother found me. It is very.
I don't like hearing that aspect of it.
You don't like the idea of mom finding her slumped body of her child, reeking of gasoline.
Driveway, you know.
I mean,
I'm trying
to drive here.
I have a story, right? So my brother.
It's not called the pass out way.
No, it's not.
Oh, I want to finish this. I'll tell you this story. It is very addictive and makes me smell rather unpleasant. Even recently, when I pass the gas jug, I want to take a few hits. Parentheses, I usually don't, though. Gas can be a big hassle in my life and cause lots of problems. And that's like the end. That was in 2006.
Let's get this man a Tesla.
So many Americans, I was going to say, have that same issue. Gas being a hassle in their life and causing them problems.
You ain't lying.
So, when I was growing up, my brother and his friends were sitting in a car huffing butane out of the butane you get for a Zippo lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we were out there huffing it. they're all fucked up and having a good time, and they got the windows rolled up in the car. One of them fucking pulls out a cigarette and goes to light it,
Mm.
and a fireball goes
Yeah.
and burns all three of them. They got really badly burned. And my brother ran in the house and told my parents I was huffing butane out in front of the house, and somebody lit a cigarette and it blew up. The other two guys lied to their parents. And one of them was like, I was trying to mow my friend. It was 1 o'clock in the morning when it happened. I was trying to mow my friend's lawn, and something weird was going on, and gas got in my face. And then the other one, I don't remember his lie, but I just remember being like, your parents know that you were huffing gas.
So
right?
huffing gas was a known thing too around. Like it was known that kids did that.
Yeah, we'd already been caught by our
I
parents.
see. Because I was gonna say, like, it wouldn't
Okay.
really come to the mind. Like in my neighborhood growing up, it wouldn't have been like, oh, you were probably huffing gas. There would be another explanation, maybe, that would be like something was up, but it wouldn't be huffing gas specifically.
No, if I were the parent sound asleep at 1 a.m. in his bed in this situation, I would have to go on like a monk / poker face style recreation of events to figure out what the fuck happened. You said you were in your car. Like, there's no way I'd be able to put it. Well, there's the butane lighter was found at the scene. I'm not putting this together for like an hour.
It'd be nice if you had that Charlie, you know, if you were like Charlie, you could just tell if your kid was lying right away. Just ask him flat out the questions.
Well, I've told them that I do have that.
That's smart. That is actually really good. So,
but I don't. But I do. I did tell them.